Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It is October 10th, 2025. So we've got the 10-10-2025. Some people say it's a 10-10 portal, but I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy, storyline for the collective, please. Storyline for the collective. Today is October 10th. Apparently, October 9th, the spiritual courts had given control over the planet to the Divine Mother. That means those who have been trafficking her and the children and messing with the men and the animals and everything else here have to leave. They're very upset. They don't want to just unalive this person. They want to KID nap her and then, play with the energy and the mental body and the pain thresholds and all of that. Do the genetic things, genetic mad scientist stuff. That's not going to happen. So we have a new planetary organizer. They call her a unifier. She's a dignitary, a magistrate, an upper dimensional soprano being who was here as a sentinel. And apparently she went much deeper than the adversary had thought. What evidence she was able to bring forth to the spiritual courts and the upper councils verified that. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. What storyline would you like to share with the collective? We've got a new planetary organizer here, a unifier who is bringing an end to a terrible, terrible cycle. Because I guess it's become very clear, who chose what, who is aligned with what, and who is still wanting to interfere with what. It's very clear. So how's that going around the bottom of the deck? We got the 10 of Cups. So there's going to be a celebration within the community. Divine love, total love and support. Where you're not going to, you could leave your windows and your doors unlocked and everything and not worry about somebody coming in and doing you harm, because that's going away. At least I think that's the intention. When I was a kid, we could leave the doors to the house open all day, leave the keys in the cars at night, leave the car running when you went into the store, and nobody was going to mess with that. So I'm looking forward to a return where we can trust that those that we share space with will be, at least have some semblance of morality, ethics, and honor, respect of the material wealth that other people have attained for themselves. Honestly. So in the central energy, this is the first day of new management, it looks like, for the planet. Oh. So, Temperance Angel, balance is being restored. Balance, sensibility, moderation. In the challenge position, history, nostalgia, innocence and joy. There's a 50% off sale adoption fees at the Humane Society right now, and it's called the Joy Program. In the subconscious, Chariot. Could be that the earth angels are leaving. Going back to a time of joy. In the recent past. Justice. The law of cause and effect. Balance is being restored. Intentions and expectations. Disconnect. And this is one of those things, you know, with this person, this earth angel or whatever, going deeper than the adversary had thought. It's almost like that's the starting point for some. Apathy. Apathy. So now we've got apathy. Like you no longer care. You're disconnected from them. They're disconnected from you. They never cared about you. They never cared about you. So they had apathy for you. They never cared whatsoever. And now we've got the law of cause and effect. So now they seem to be experiencing you not caring. And they're mad. Because you're supposed to always care. You have always cared. You've always turned the other cheek. You've always given the coat off of your back. You've always cut yourself short. They treated you with so much disdain, you know, and now they're upset because they want you to care, but it's like, it's the law of cause and effect. It's equal give and take. It's reciprocation. Although I think the malice is missing. Emperor. Maybe not for the emperor though. I think he's bringing the ball hammer down. The lens is being looked through. The Hermit. Research. Soul searching. It's like the Temperance Angel, Emperor. You know, these adversaries were so pissed because he can get into everybody's mind. And it's like, well, I don't know why they were so mad, because they were in everybody's mind. And rather than helping people and being kind, they were being brutal and driving them into addictions and anger and, you know, separation and lack and failure. Whereas the Emperor's just here making sure that stuff doesn't happen. They're so mad. It's like, this Emperor, he can tell when I'm being a jerk. They're so upset. They wanted to get away with continuing to be a real bad person in the shadows, but this Emperor can hear them. And he's not AI. He's like an original. He's like the original that they tried to probably base the AI system off of. All right, so in the environment, Four of Swords. You might be resting. You might be making plans for the future. You may be alone. Something may be getting laid to rest. Hopes and fears. We've got the Nine of Wands reversed. Somebody's paranoid. Tired. The outcome. What's the outcome? The Hanged Man. A letting go. A new perspective. Release. Their intentions will be their gift, is what the divine had stated. King of... Whoa. We've got a King of Swords here. We've got a King of Swords, head over heart. But we've also got disappointment. Or maybe this King of Swords is exercising his authority regarding the truth and bringing about disappointment for somebody. Because the Queen of Cups has this marriage connection. And there's the star energy here too. So she could be a healer. They may be a healer. So take it as it resonates. It could be that a King of Swords is in regret, or he's bringing regret to somebody by marrying this Queen of Cups. Or maybe he's in regret because this Queen of Cups is getting married, and in their purpose, the healer is beginning to heal things, people, places, things. We've got a Page of Swords here. He wants to try to find new ways of communicating. Okay. Last night, I heard a young page sounding person say, "You could be a destiny swapper." So he's either in the territory trying to recruit people to move against this new management system. We've got a strong new love here. And financial opportunity. The Hierophant has a victory. So God wins. The Hierophant has a victory here. And somebody is losing the charity that they once enjoyed. Because we're having a new opportunity for those who actually grew through this battle. They're getting a 10 of Pentacles and freedom from this heavy burden here, which means somebody else is in despair because they're having to carry that heavy burden, and they're in a tower. King of Pentacles is in a tower. And very swiftly getting left behind to deal with this painful ending that they are afraid of. This illusion, this mess that they created for others is now coming back on them. They have to deal with their intentions. God said their intentions shall be their gift, right? Man, I'm so glad that I tried my best to love people and to forgive them. But some people hated you even more, you know. The more you loved them, the more you forgave them, the more they hated you because you just kept proving that you were not what they are. and you kept coming back. You know, when they broke your heart and brutalized you so bad and you turned around and forgave them and continued loving them, that's just like, it's like, what? And then they continued to try to hurt you because it wasn't working. You will be traveling soon, Earth Angel. Back to a happy time. Back to joy. Fire sign. Childhood memories. Innocence and joy. Fire sign. Reminiscing. There may be healing for you. You know, just because you're an earth angel and, you know, top of the line harmony creator doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, right? So you need healing. So you're a fire sign and you didn't burn anything down. Good for you. You're in your chariot and you're leaving it behind rather instead. Chariot, health. You're leaving something behind. We've got courage, health. Justice is being served. The law of cause and effect. Those who wanted you disconnected are being disconnected. Those who wanted to take everything from you are getting very little. They gambled you. They gambled you and they lost. This is a high roller. They're addicted to your energy. They're addicted to, they built their life on your energy, on your identity. Probably your role that you were here to be in was stolen by somebody who was a high rolling addict. And you're a freaking earth angel. So now they're getting disconnected from you. They had apathy for you, and now they're getting disconnected and receiving apathy. Narcissist. You're disconnecting from this narcissist. The Emperor is here. Whoa. Guardian. Spy. So the Emperor, Guardian, a lost loved one watches over you, and spy. Someone's got their eye on you. You are doing your research. So the Emperor could be your guardian angel, and he's doing his research here with the Hermit card. He's definitely not a lazy and self-entitled brat, for sure. This person has been doing some heavy research, and not only that, battling with this. I mean, imagine the amount of energy that this earth angel must expel or expend to deal with this mess of narcissists. And it's been going on every day, 24/7, high levels of intensity for 16 months now. But in reality, this has been going on for centuries. Woo! Commitment. Commitment. Not going back. These marriages or these commitments, there is the Hermit here. So there's a light being shined on the soul. These marriage commitments will not be going back into this this lopsided theft and brutality situation again. There will be processes put in place to where the soul will be evaluated before it's permitted to what? Procreate and become part of the spiritual inheritance that is allotted to this territory, this family. No more games and no more risks because of what happened in the previous chapter. Bloodlines were eliminated by this enemy. It has, you know, who came in and birthed a child just so they could tap that spiritual inheritance and then flip everything into South Node and bury it in darkness and claim it as their own and wearing the identity and the energy, trying to become it. You got to make very, very certain that this never happens again. They're very upset. Yeah, marriage commitments will not be going back to that crap. We've got research here, soul searching. We're laying something to rest. There is a renewal here. It's a complete, all right, come on. Well, we've got divorce. We've got liar. Moving on and repeating cycles. Not going back. You're done with this. Micro, macro. This is a big thing. So we're divorcing the liars. There's not going to be any more unions with these liars. We're not going back into this scenario. They're told to move on. They got to go repeat the damn cycle and get it right, because this was horrendous. What they thought was success was horrendous brutality, and it just, now they get to go back. Nine of Wands in the reverse. They are overwhelmed and paranoid. These are people that were competing with the mother for her wealth, for her status as a divine mother. We've got the Hanged Man. There's a release here. We've got, you're not opening your heart to pregnancy, to birthing anything with them again. There's no more pregnancies coming from these third parties who don't even like women. They were competing with women, and the only reason that they were having children with women was so that they could tap into that spiritual inheritance, put that woman into South Node, trap her in darkness, and then assume the personality and the identity in the spiritual realm or wherever. But yeah, there's no more opening your heart to birthing anything with these people. There's a release of them. There's no more commitments. We're not doing that again. Nope, absolutely the F not. We've got yes and pets. Luck is on your side. You might be getting a new pet. We've got a gold digger here. Wants your money to be used, and they're being patient. Here in just a few months, you may have an air sign that's going to try to come in and be intimate with you. So give it time when it comes to date night, okay? Because you got somebody who wants to move in with you, and it's no. So they're going to try to come in the next few months to get frisky with you while this is clearing out. And one of the things that these ones said was that this woman, whoever this woman is, won't last a year. And that depends on her guardian and those who support her guardian and God, who is at the forefront of this whole mess, right? Yeah, so somebody at a distance might be trying to confess something, telling some kind of a secret. Use your caution. This is a third-party person trying to communicate and get into your mind to see how you feel about an earth sign, water sign, doing love spells on you. It appears as though they're having challenges manifesting a honeymoon with you or with anyone because they've been let go and they're desperate to get back. So you got to be careful out there for the next few months until this is ironed out. You know, or until, you know, God relocates you to whatever timeline or dimensional system you shall reside in. So they've got command of the planet. They've got command of the goddess and the god of time. So these narcissists, it appears to me, have lost the mental framework holding those special gifts and knowledge, the hidden knowledge, the high priestess and high priest knowledge. They've lost access to that. Temperance angel, you're in your purpose. You'll be traveling soon. Shine. You shine. In the challenge position, we have memories, but it could be healing. So you may need to heal from the past. You could be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Innocent, who has been found innocent. So you're in your chariot with your health. You could be moving forward regarding health. You may be, like, health issues could arise, but you're very optimistic. Like, this curator's been talking about medicine, in that if the medicine is transported to this new dimensional space or timeline, that they will use it as a connector or a bridge. So they may feel that health issues could arise, that they may be able to tamper with that medicine and affect life that way. So there should be some consideration for that potentiality. You're very optimistic about it. Justice has been served in the recent past, the law of cause and effect. Somebody gambled you. They gambled you and they lost. They gambled with their time. They effed around with the time that they had, centuries, and rather than build something, construct something, add value to their soul, they decided that they were going to strip value from the souls of others and take that value for themselves. So they're being disconnected. They're a narcissist. They're too full of themselves. You no longer care about this narcissist. You're not going to serve them anymore. Justice is being served, and it looks like you're being congratulated. You're disconnecting the narcissists. That mentality that is the same in every narcissist. It's the same, which led me to believe it must be some kind of an attachment or a parasite of sorts or something. But it looks like they're getting disconnected. This narcissistic mental, whatever that is. The Emperor is here guarding you. He's your guardian, or he is being guarded. He's doing some research, spy. He could be your guardian. He's spying on whatever it is that's going on around you. He is fully aware of it. He's your guardian, and he's watching over you, and everybody that attempts to come into your sphere will be seen. He's doing his research on them. Commitments will not be going back. These commitments, like, things are getting very, very serious about these commitments. The liars that have just been tapping into people's energy and wealth, they're going to go back. They're leaving. They're going somewhere. There's a split. Now, I don't know if the shining ones, because it says you will be traveling soon, Temperance Angel who shines. You are innocent. And you're optimistic about being able to elevate the health and well-being of people, which means to me, because this is what I've been seeing, is that we're moving away from the synthetic medicines that these adversaries intend to use as a connector or a bridge between timelines or spaces and places, realms, dimensions. But I see this going back to the holistic, mother's medicines that grow on the earth. They're much gentler to the system. They actually heal rather than mask symptoms and cause the body even more sickness. So I see it going in that direction. It looks to me like you're moving forward regarding health and issues that might arise, and you're feeling rather optimistic about it. So yeah, so we've got the Emperor here. He is a guardian. He's watching over you. He's doing his research on what's been going on here, on this backstory, on the history. So he's looking at everybody's history. We've got soul searching. He's soul searching, folks. And it's like, if you're seen to be a lying bisexual who only taps the womb of the feminine so that you can tap that spiritual inheritance or the identity of that divine feminine, and then flip her and then copycat her with your bro or whatever, yeah, that is coming to an end. We're not going back to that. The Emperor is looking at these marriages, and he's looking to see if that is what they were based on. And if so, they're getting disconnected. Home. We're not doing this again in the home. So these kinds of, so commitments are not going back home. Home? They're not permitted in home. You're doing soul searching, committed to not returning home. Whoever these liars are that have been doing nasty crap with contracts, relationships, pregnancies, we've got remember in the reverse. So they're being striked out of the memory. So there's a retreat. There's a laying to rest. The liar is getting divorced. Those people who have been tapping the womb only to tap into the identity and the spiritual inheritance and the destiny. They're moving on. They're going to repeat a cycle, and they won't be remembered. They're going to be wiped from the memory. They're overwhelmed. They're paranoid. Their sexuality, they're still trying to figure themselves out. They're bi. This is a snake. This is the snake's purpose. The snake's purpose is to bring these people into paranoia. And fatigue. Well, I guess he was successful. That was the snake's purpose. And so they're getting let go. Your heart is not opening to birthing anything with these people. Creativity. Creativity. This is the card. It says, do you really want to do this? What will people say? It's that little nagging voice in the back of your head. Can you handle it? And the brain says this for your own good, because it's the brain's job to keep you safe, unoriginal, and normal in this maddening world. Secondly, because it's the recurring voice of the past, representing all of those souls whose creativity was starved because of a lack of opportunity or nourishment. So you're moving into creativity. It's like you're not, these people, you're releasing the people whose hearts were not open to birthing creativity. They weren't willing to create anything. They didn't want to birth anything. They didn't want to be a creator. They wanted to be a destroyer. And it's been observed. Everything was seen. There's expectation here of a competition. This kin, they were competing for your compass, which you gained because you were peaceful. You're emotionally stable, rational, and you've brought your attention to these people's addictions to your privilege, your services. They wanted to appear as you while bringing you hardship, wearing your identity, puppeting you and others. But you are arcana, and you took care of yourself in this conflict. You were able to self-preserve, and here you are, seen as a giant magistrate from what I hear, and you're disconnecting these brojos and making them invisible. They're being martyred. Or maybe it's happening because they martyred you and others for things and a status of importance, which is now in the grave, and that was prophesied. Apparently, you did things perfectly. You did not cut any corners with this tribe. And you are here and now, and they are going to be absent, and they're haunted. They're having mental issues. Like all that mental magic is back on them, and they're afraid. They could be afraid of their body. They might need a body. They want your forgiveness because for bringing you so much drama, for not settling down with you, for keeping you unstable, for entertainment. This explorer. But you survived, and you didn't do anything. You were not guilty. They persecuted an innocent person. These ancestors horse playing around with forbidden knowledge. They had promised to make a change, this religious witch, regarding leadership that was meant for you as you are. They wanted to be you and fight with others and share a limited perception, pretending to be a wholesome person, sending messages, visiting homes, being a wise guy, sending out ghosts, and then spirits to drive your mind. They worked real hard at it. But you are conscientious. You kept your mind clean. You kept your mind stable. You kept your mind full of love. This throne is yours. It's yours. And you got this teacher, this vain teacher who is out there playing with your life And now there's a defense for this sovereign being. The Emperor is here doubly guarding you. This is your evermore. And it could be at a secret location. You're traveling soon. You're leaving soon. You're going home. But those who were lying about their commitment, trying to get a free pass out of here and a home or whatever, they're going to go back and repeat the cycle. They thought it was going to be you, that they were going to stick you back there as a sovereign being and then, birth you into some very, very low-class peasantry full of addicted people and, kind of abuses or whatnot. But it didn't work out that way because God said no. Probably one of those clauses, They were talking like this shining one, this temperance angel went deeper than they thought, which tells me that God, there was an agreement, like a soul agreement. Like this person had to deep dive into some of the most miserable, addicted, abusive, destructive realms or densities ever. And when the time came, it's like God was just, he resurrected her and then lifted her back, led her back and retrieved all of the information. It was like, learn as much as you can, about as much as you can. And it's like, he wasn't going to leave that information there. He pulled it all back up. And I think there's a lot of folks coming back up. These ones were complaining on my way home tonight. I heard them complaining about this new planetary guardian. This Emperor is the new foundation keeper for the guardian. He's got his eyes on it. This earth angel, innocent earth angel, is his person. And they're together. So, earth angel, you will be traveling soon because you've got your shine on. And third party, you're shining on a third party. You're shining on this third party terrible stuff. Terrible, terrible stuff. They are challenged by this history of what they've done to this innocent fire sign. Yeah, that's what that is. This third party is challenged because of the history of what they've done to this Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. An innocent person. They could be a child, or they could have done this when they were a child. This could have been one of their children. The truth is revealed. You were innocent. So you're moving on. You've got your Chariot here, and we've got health. Health issues could arise for these people. Or maybe you're managing your health and you're very optimistic about the shift that's going to happen in the world. Responsibilities. You're very optimistic. Financial and emotional needs will be taken care of. This is going to be a mother or father who love each other, and that child is going to know that there's love in that home and that they are safe. And they're well cared for. We've got orange juice in those beautiful cups, and this child has a piece of bread in their hands and a beautiful little smile while mama and daddy are kissing. So the law of cause and effect is, in order justice is being delivered, they took a gamble with you. They gambled their time. And reminiscing about the old jokes. They miss the inside jokes. It's time for them to reminisce about those inside jokes. It's time for them to think about what they have done here. They're being disconnected. This is a narcissist, and you're being congratulated because justice is being delivered here. Your deep dive into darkness and the information that you brought back for the Most High is crucial for this successful transition. Yeah, so there's justice being served on the dishonesty of this chaser, this narcissist who is chasing after your life path, your destiny. It really saddens me that I heard a young page-like masculine telling somebody, you can be a destiny swapper. You know, it got the face of innocence, but the intentions of the complete opposite. Malice. While wearing a smile and calling it a benefit. They need to be evicted out of this territory. If they are in the home here of the shining ones, they need to go away. They can't be here teaching people how to go destiny swap or even tempting them with that. They got to get out. I don't care if it's a child that seems innocent. What they're trying to share here is malice and a failure for our new chapter. So the Emperor is here. He's a guardian. He's watching over you. He's doing his research. He's spying. Or he's looking at spies. Or maybe you're protected from these spies who are trying to research you. We got a backstory. So there's history here. And you're entering in a new chapter. You're trying to move on. So there is research with the Hermit card. Those commitments, this marriage commitment isn't going back. The Emperor and his Earth Angel, they're not going back. Or those who were committed to bringing about bull crap aren't going back home. They're not going back home. I think that's what that is. Those who were committed to lying and stealing and brutalizing the mother while competing with the mother for her status and her identity. We got forgiveness. They're not going back home with you. Whoever it was you were committed to, they're not going back. They're not going back to them, and they're not going home. It could be that you're going home. That whoever was committed to trying to send you back wasn't able to do that. So you're going home. You've got forgiveness for the lies. You're laying something to rest. This liar who was lying about this commitment, they were trying to send you back. See, look, marriages, those who married somebody with the intention of sending them back are not able to do that. Okay? They did it because they wanted to go home, and now they want forgiveness. Okay? They were trying to get forgiveness, but the fact of the matter is that this is a liar they were trying to send their mate back and then take that ticket into the future or into heaven. So this is a liar. They got married with that intention in mind. They're getting a divorce and they're going to move on. They're going to go back and they're going to repeat that cycle again. They're going to do it. And in fact, they're going to be wiped from the memory, the book of life. They'll never be remembered. Not even going to remember it. They're going to be wiped from the memory. Yeah. They made commitments because they didn't want to go back. They made a marriage because they didn't want to go back. They married somebody because they wanted to hop on board that destiny train. They wanted to go home. They wanted to be forgiven. But they're a liar and they're going to get divorced out of that energy. This Emperor is not messing around. He's like, you will not be bringing that crap into this territory. There's a lying snake. Look. Chemistry. They won't be remembered because they were just an F-boy or an F-girl. That's all they were. Maybe they won't remember passion. They won't be remembered for that passion. They turned the realm into a brothel. And for profit. They were hurting the mother while wearing her identity. These men competing with her. That was the snake's purpose. See, this curator's job, I'm not against two-spirited persons, but this curator's job was to bring together trans families. They wanted to flip and copycat the mothers, the innocent, shining ones, and then they wanted to replace them with their he-she. And again, I'm not saying nothing to those people who want to love whoever they want to love, but this network, that specifically trained people for this type of brutality and betrayal is ridiculous. Soul tie. They did it for soul ties. And look, we've got damage in the reverse. They're not able to damage soul ties anymore. No. There will be no more bringing damage to soul ties. That's the snake's purpose. They wanted to bring damage to a soul tie. And they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to. They're not being remembered. For their passion project. It's going to be erased from history. They're going to be erased from history. They will not be remembered for this passion project. And maybe they'll forget what it's like to feel that. They're paranoid. They're exhausted. We've got bisexuality, the snake and their purpose of trying to damage soul ties. They were not able to do that. And now they're feeling shattered. They're feeling shattered because they couldn't shatter you. So there's a release. There's the hanged man here. And we've got, you're not opening your heart to birthing anything with these people. Because their values are all about money. You're getting creative. You're going to create something, but you're not going to create with them. They wanted to tap in. They wanted to get those who have creator in them or who are directly linked to creator. They wanted to tap in with a pregnancy in order to tap that spiritual inheritance. They had to tap a creator's womb space, bore a child, and then claim the wealth that belonged to that child. You're not interested in doing that anymore. There's unfinished business here regarding a destiny. So there's still things getting ironed out about these prideful people who did not appreciate the beauty that you offered. They wish it had never happened. They're getting disconnected from your soul contract. Because you escaped, they've missed their opportunity. And they'll never change. They made mistakes. They're unworthy of being in your space. And now they're running from the secrets that they hold. They sabotage themselves. One of last night's messages was they sabotaged themselves when they decided to try to program everybody into failure, driving them into failure. The minute they try to drive people's minds, they sabotage their own damn self. And because it wasn't free will, they drove them into failure. And then they deceitfully convicted them of crimes and of instability and inability to manage themselves well. Now they don't know what to do because it's too late for them to take any action. They've been discovered. The truth has been discovered, and they're confused because everybody's talking about your irreplaceable love. They're overwhelmed and stressed out because of your love. And this reflection is guilty of messing with you. And they could not separate you from love. So now they're being held back. They're holding back. They're feeling your absence. Daydreaming of this commitment, this shadow side. Had hope of taking your place in this reunion. But your person has an understanding of that. They want to talk to you. They know that you were neglected, and they know that these ones they don't care how you feel. You both were unsatisfied with the way things were going. Your heart connection has been mended, and you are committed to reciprocity, equal give and take. This is like, there's nothing for free. People say, I can't work. I'm not able to do that. I need help with this. I need help with that. And it's like, okay, well, what do you have? Because the Creator said that we're moving into a system of bartering. So if people want to be part of the system, then they got to have something to barter, some skill, some service, something. God didn't send us here with an empty vessel. There's a whole bunch of goodness in here. All we got to do is try to find out what's inside. What special gifts were we given, you know, to bring here to this realm? Everybody's been trained to believe that they're a sinner and that they have no value, and that's just a lie. People were trained that they were a sinner because there's been a lot of sin transference going on in this world. There's been people born into bloodlines that are carrying this transference of sin curse. They're carrying sin and karmic debt that doesn't belong to their family line. It was transferred there through this sneaky magical means. Or these contracts, these pregnancy, you know, get pregnant and then they can download or upload whatever they want to get rid of, right? They use people like that. So you're shining a light on this third party here. You're going to be traveling soon, shiny one. This third party, we got health. There could be having a health issue. The third party could be having a health issue for the history of what they've done to this fire sign who was innocent. The truth is out. The truth is out, and we've got patience in the reverse. Patience in the reverse. It's like the truth needs to be revealed now. So you've got a victory here and the Chariot. You're moving forward on health issues. You're very optimistic about these responsibilities for families. You're not worried. You're not worried. See, these narcissists, this snake, you know, they've been taunting Divine Feminine, treating her as though she lacks responsibility, like she's incapable of even pulling into the freaking garage without running into the freaking wall, you know? So, or boiling a damn hot dog in a stainless steel pan or pot. Little stupid narcissistic things like that that have been shoved down the Divine Feminine's face. Justice is being delivered. They gambled with you. They gambled with their time. And now they're reminiscing about the inside jokes and this growth. The way you've grown. Your growth. They're being disconnected. They're a narcissist. You're being congratulated on the justice that is being delivered right now. These liars, these dishonest people, these chasers are receiving justice. They lied and they ripped everything apart with those lies. We've got courage. They need to find courage. They need to find the inner strength to deal with this. Justice. They're being disconnected. They're going to have to go find justice. The Emperor is here. This is your guardian. He's watching over you, and he's doing his research, or he's watching these spies of the past. So you're protected here, and he's doing his research on the backstory here. You've got a new chapter. New chapter. And we've got accepting responsibility for your own well-being. Several months ago, Divine stated that we're moving into this new chapter where everyone will carry their own cross. There will not be transference of sins. There will not be cursing bloodlines. There will not be doing any of that crap. If somebody is trying to gain a marriage commitment, trying to escape from some shitty thing that their life holds deep within itself, then they're not going to get that marriage. You're not using love as an escape route for being a shitty person. Abundance. So doing your research on a commitment, not going back. We've got home and forgiveness and abundance. There's a commitment that you're not going back. That was one thing that the Divine Mother stated, is that this is the last lifetime story for Earth Woman. That Earth Woman has control over this planet now, and there will be no more airing of lifetime stories to mutated dimensional timelines where humans are kept as slaves. They're not going to be broadcasting the suffering of Earth Woman to these spaces and places anymore. It's it. That's the last lifetime story. God and Goddess, Mother, Father, creators of all that is, have given this garden back to the Divine Mother and her Emperor. Those who have married based on a lie are going to get divorced. They're moving on. They're going to go back and repeat that cycle. And we've got, nobody's going to remember this passion project. It has failed. This attempt with this F-boy and F-girl, this snake running around, attaching itself to everybody, it's not going to be remembered. It's going to be wiped from memory. Anybody trying to teach others how to destiny swap will be wiped from memory. They will be exited right out of the territory. It doesn't matter whether you have a sweet little boy face or not. If you got a heart full of malice and you're trying to bring shit to the new cycle, you won't be able to participate. You're not going to be welcomed as a friend. Nope. So they're paranoid, they're overwhelmed, they're on edge. We've got sexuality still trying to figure themselves out. Bisexual, three-party enemies. The snake's purpose was to bring damage to a soul tie, but they were not able to. They're feeling broken and shattered about that. They're no longer your friend. They're not seen as a friend. You're not giving them friends. You've got your freedom from this snake. They don't know what to do about it because they're under judgment and they're in regret here. Because you trust the inner voice that guides you, and they have to surrender their need to control relationships that serve the higher good. They're out of here. They cannot butt in and destiny swap with a divine feminine or a divine masculine and steal that pathway while sticking them into some recycled bullshit into some poor third party freaking country somewhere or something. No. Imagination. So there is a release here. You're letting go. You're not opening your heart to birthing anything with these people. They're trying to get creative about money, or they were using your creativity to gain money. They were tapping into your mind. They were using your creativity to make money. They didn't give a crap about you. But you're not opening your heart to pregnancy because they were using your creativity to make money. Their values were all about money. They didn't care about you. So it's like you're not birthing anything with them. Or maybe you are pregnant, but your heart is remaining closed because you know that they did this to earn money. And it wasn't actually love. This liar is getting divorced. They're getting sent back to do it again. They're receiving denial. Receiving denial. They were using your imagination to create money, and now they're getting a denial. It's the intellectual property. So they try to tap into the consciousness of the transmitter receivers of the divine, the sons and daughters of the Most High God, who were here to receive downloads from the heavens and then bring it into the world. This snake hijacked everybody, and they started downloading software and freaking soap operas into everybody's minds, right? These tales of woe. And then they amplified that by pushing people, driving people into criminal activity, and then they put it on your TV screen as entertainment, and everybody just loves that, right? They're programmed for violence. They're desensitized to suffering. So they're afraid. They're a happiness hater is what they are. You are an empath. As a transmitter receiver divine, you pick up on all of the messages, on all of the Wi-Fi networking stuff. You're the original Wi-Fi. But they got their AI in here and they started flooding everybody's minds with this false telepathy and stuff. tapping into your services, your intellectual property. But you persevered through this because you know that there's no greater goal than to love. So not only did you persevere, you're a success story. And these ones need to surrender their need to control you. They're in regret because the one that you trust is calling judgment on them. And they don't know what to do because you've got your freedom here. These relationships that are here to serve the higher good are free to go. They cannot keep you here or trap you here. Those who brought you adversity have been found guilty. Your gratitude, your mindset of gratitude, it has brought about a change here. Your ability to release the need to know all the answers when things got tough has enabled you to be led into some kind of a balance and harmony. It's like you didn't know all the answers, but you were able to settle and be balanced and harmonious in your environment anyway. It's like leaving it up to God every step of the way. Honest to God's truth. Focusing on this lighter side of life, even though you may have been left alone. You were never alone because God kept you company. Those who envied you are experiencing a death, and because you are committed to love, and they lied about that. They're in grief here because all of the negative energies are being released so that you can experience peace and make room for the love that you deserve. The love that you deserve, because you are a being that has gifts of the soul that benefit yourself and others. We've got acceptance, we've got forgiveness, and you are in your purpose because you're very, very disciplined. We've got pride here. Pride. I don't know. I just thought of the lions, like a pride of lions. So that's how that one struck me in this particular moment. So take it as it resonates. So the temperance angel is going to be traveling soon. You've got your shine on. You're shining a light on those third parties, on their health. On the health of these third parties. It's like they all might be diseased. They all are losing energy. They don't have any energy because they've been siphoning it off of others. Jealous. Third party could be jealous of your health. The fact that you honor the physical vessel that enshrines your soul. The fact that you have worked very diligently to bring homeostasis and perfect harmony to your inside as well as your outside. They're challenged because of the history of what they have done to an innocent fire sign. The truth has been revealed and there's no more patience. Like there's no patience. It's like now. It's like out now. Cult leader. You've lost your patience with this cult leader. You're in your chariot. You got your health. You're very optimistic about the future here. And you're not worrying about a simp. You're not worried about this simp. Cult leader. You're not going to worry about this simp. Or you're not going to have to worry. You're very optimistic regarding the health. So you're very optimistic that responsible family units will not have to worry about this simp who does the very most for somebody who cares the very least. They're all going to be weeded out. Now, I heard that young boy telling somebody, you could be a destiny swapper. They are going to be weeded out. They're not going to be here teaching that kind of crap. It's going away. Doesn't matter. And if it's in their mind, and they agree to have it erased, I don't know. I don't know how the emperor wants to handle that. But we can't have people in the territory teaching others how to destiny swap. Nope. So we've got the law of cause and effect. Justice is being delivered. They took a gamble with you, with their time, and now they're reminiscing about their inside jokes because this unicorn has grown in consciousness and awareness. You're very, very special. They underestimated your specialness, Temperance Angel. They really thought that because you looked so sweet and innocent and that you never ever hurt anybody and that you could not recognize malice because it was not in you, so you continued to be kind to people without being malice. No matter how much they hurt you, you kept greeting them with the mind of a child. Sweetly. And so now they're being disconnected from you. This is a narcissist, and you're being congratulated because justice is being delivered and served because of your courage. They were chasing after your destiny. They were lying and creating conspiracy theories about you so that they could have a status of privilege and then snack on you once you got rejected and sentenced to a suffering state. They really, justice is being served on them for all of those lies and for chasing after your destiny. The Emperor, who this dishonest little hoe bag wanted, is your guardian angel. And he's doing his research on everybody who did you wrong in the history. In this new chapter, people will have to accept responsibility for their own well-being. They will have to accept the blame for whatever it is that they do, say, and think. We've got a black square. Doing the least to gain the most. Will have to accept the responsibility for their own well-being. They're not going to be siphoning off of anybody else anymore. Shadow demon. Fashion witch. Fashion witch. Doing the least to gain the most is a feral shadow demon, or loyal to one anyway. They're going to have to accept the responsibility for their own well-being. No more sucking, no more vampiring the empath. And there is a warning here. There is a warning here. So the Emperor is researching here, and there is a commitment to not going back. The Emperor and this Earth Angel who's shining, they're in this responsible union. They are not going back to this kind of scenario. They're not going to be worried about these simps. They're going to be going away. There's no more patience with these cult leaders. We're going to go home. There's going to be forgiveness, and there's going to be abundance and limitless manifestations that are beneficial for the higher good. Not this crap. It's announced. It's announced. There's been an announcement, and that was yesterday. Earth Woman is in control of the planet. These hybrids and other species are no longer in control of trafficking humans for their fluids, their energy, or their flesh. It's over. They have failed. They have failed in their passion project. And they're getting wiped from memory. They're getting wiped from memory. This is not going to be remembered. This is not going to be talked about in the future. Nobody's going to be bringing this up and be curious about it. It's going to be completely wiped out and written out of the book of life. And anybody in the territory, this simp, anybody in the territory trying to reenact it or re-enliven it will be evicted. There's no more, there's no, the angel that everybody got one over on for thousands of years died to them. The empathy of this earth angel has turned to apathy. The law of cause and effect is in motion. They threw away the earth angel. They disconnected, they rejected it, and then they proceeded to use it as a toilet, a recycling unit. Now they're being disconnected and treated with apathy because they're just somebody who doesn't care about anybody or anything. So it's being announced they have failed. There is a commitment to not going back to this in the home. And there is forgiveness for the abundant, limitless beings who had been programmed and driven into failure. You're a legend. You brought this to light. You brought this to light and you made this change possible. You've got billionaire status. You're well known throughout the cosmos. Earth Woman will not be broadcast throughout the galaxy at these slave timelines anymore. You're a legendary, billionaire status, abundant, limitless being. You dove into the depths of this crap and you brought forward the truth and you gave it right to God, and therefore something very, very good has happened for humanity. They're not going to be blamed for the setup. You know? I mean, the food supply has been tainted. The meat is tainted. I'm sorry, it simply is. And all the other foods, they got bio agents, biological, formatted, whatever the hell is ingredients in there. Nobody knows what that is, but it's tainted. And but I think it is. I won't say because I don't want to freak anybody out. But it's tainted. That was the first thing that these ones said when they arrived was the food is tainted. So people, I believe, were being framed as cannibals because humans are the forbidden fruit. They weren't supposed to be eaten. I believe Eve was the apple. I believe that Eve was sacrificed, or not Eve, whoever. Somebody was the freaking apple, and somebody decided to sacrifice them and then eat them. And that wasn't supposed to happen. So then they decided to frame all of humanity as being that, while purifying themselves in the fluids so that they looked innocent. Narcissist. So now they're paranoid. These third-party enemies are paranoid about this snake's purpose, you know. They weren't able to bring damage to your soul tie, Emperor, shining one. And now they're feeling broken and shattered because they're not your friend. They're no longer your friend. They can't get a friendship with you. You don't want anything to do with them. They suck. Literally, they're vampires. They suck the life out of everything. It has a snack. It's a freaking vampiric snack. And you're not going to be friends with them. So we've got, they're being released. You're not opening your heart to birthing anything with these people. They tapped into you and your creativity to earn money. They stole your intellectual property. And now they're in denial. They're denying it or they're being denied. You're not sharing anything with them anymore. They're triggered. They're triggered because they're receiving a denial from you. They don't have access to your mind anymore, to your creativity, to your intellectual property, or the property of your children. You're not going to birth anything with them because you know what they've been doing in the mines. They're getting divorced. They're getting moved on. They're going away. This vampire is being warned by an empath oracle. They got the land back. Earthwoman is in control of planet Earth. And the Emperor is her guardian. And he's researching every single thing that this snake did. And all of their helpers. This narcissist. Trying to steal the starseeds' life of privilege. Trolling them. Trauma bonding with them. And then trying to take their status as influencer, stealing their voice, burying them so nobody ever heard about them and their ability to love themselves into health. They wanted everybody love bombing and gaslighting and being frivolous. But now you're telling them to stay in your own lane, or they're being told to stay in their own lane. They may think that you're a bitch, or all the bitches are being told to stay in their own lane. I like to think all the bitches are being told to stay in their own lane because there's no bitch like this bitch. I'm telling you right now. There's no bitch like this bitch. They're just nasty. You know? I mean, if they're not cruel and sneaky and malicious and doing forbidden magic and trying to destroy lives, they can be quite funny and friendly. I've had some friends like that. You know, when they've just got this bitchy, you know, they're funny. But these cult leader simps that are out trying to destroy lives, actually competing with the mother who has the womb, and then wear her energy and dress up and assume the identity. I just... So many people got set up for failure. And they were abused and tricked and driven into it by these prideful people who were jealous. They were jealous of the way that you honor yourself, the way that you honor these third parties are jealous of the way you honor yourself and your physical vessel that enshrines your soul. You're shining. You're shining so freaking brightly. You're in this temperance energy, and they're jealous about it. They're full of pride. They're jealous about your shine. They're jealous about the way you take care of yourself and the way that you manage your mental body, your energy, your emotional body. Look, they just do magic. Their ability to do magic is coming to an end, or those who did magic on you are meeting the grave. Take it as it resonates. Take it as it resonates. It's over now. It's seriously over. It ended yesterday, and those prideful people who did magic on you, those jealous prideful people, there's a sacrifice here. It's over. They got to get out. They got to leave. We're not doing this again. And I'm just the messenger, but I'm telling you, I'm feeling it so certainly. It's like it's absolutely over. The history here of what they've done to this fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, who was innocent, is seen. The truth is seen, and there's no more patience with this cult leader. Absolutely no more patience with this bully cult leader who's running around bullying the divine feminine. And then getting other divine feminines to be jealous and to go try to tear them down because what? Because that makes this cult leader feel powerful and special when he can command other women to go tear down these beautiful divine earth angelic women for trinkets, for crackers. So you're in your chariot and you're dealing with this health. You're very optimistic about your responsibilities and you're not worrying about this simp. They're going to lose their freedom. They will be contained. These families and their children will not have to worry about these entities coming up there and screwing up the great grandbabies' lives and futures. This is not going to happen. And they may think it cruel and they may be mean and mad about it, but we've been living through centuries of, at least in the United States, 800,000 people go missing every year. Nobody knows what happened. They close the case files. Centuries. There's tunnels lined with the skulls of humans. The law of cause and effect is in order for those who gambled with their time. They're reminiscing about the inside jokes. The unicorn has grown in consciousness and awareness. I mean, they thought this temperance angel unicorn was shiny and beautiful before, but now, now, we've got a daydream. It could be that it was just a daydream. It was only a dream. They're being disconnected. They're a narcissist. They're too full of themselves. You're being congratulated on bringing everything to light that was made justice an opportunity. You're very courageous. We've got people chasing after your destiny. They lied about you. They told conspiracy theories on you. And justice is being delivered on that. They need to go find some form of courage. They got to deal with this justice. Yeah, it's time for justice. They're going to have to go deal with it. You're getting congratulated. Third wheel enemy. Third wheel enemy lying and chasing after you, trying their best to destroy your world. Literally, the planet. Divine Mother. They were warned about the justice that the justice systems, and they were warned about worshiping death. That was a message that came in last night. So you've earned a lot of merit here. Emperor is your guardian angel. He's searching, he's doing research on the backstory of everybody who effed you over. You're getting a new chapter because you're a good moral human. You didn't try to hurt anybody. You just learned how to transmute death energy because these vampire snakes kept putting it on you. And they kept putting on nasty shit energy, orgy energy, and all that other kind of crap that you had to purify and wash off you and transmute. Nastiness. They did the very least to gain the very most. This is a feral fashion witch who's loyal to a shadow demon, and they can go F themselves and accept responsibility for their own well-being. You, good moral human, do not have to process their crap for them anymore. The Emperor is doing his research. These commitments, so he's committed to not going back. Or he's committed that these ones will not be coming back home. You've got forgiveness because you're a billionaire status, legendary, limitless a being. You're shining. You brought to light all the information necessary for the justices to do what was necessary regarding these mask-wearing copycats. You brought it to light. Proof. You survived and you escaped and you were able to elevate because God grabbed you and said, you know what, I'm going to lead you back into this ascension. And you went and you did whatever you did with the spiritual course. You laid it on all in the line. Honestly, transparently, authentically, as it is, truthfully, without shame. You know, it's like these ones, they were teaching everybody to wear blame and shame. And mostly it wasn't the collective's blame or shame to wear, although it would feel like it. When you're driven to do something that you would not otherwise choose for yourself. So if you're old like me, then you may have sort of twisted shame, right? To where it became more like information and a stepping stool. Knowledge. Awareness. Who, what, why, when, how. Not only about those around you, but about what was going on inside that would cause something like that, you know? And then coming to terms with that and realizing that not everything you hear or feel belongs to you. So those who got married specifically so that they could hop on board somebody else's destiny train are getting divorced, and they're moving back in time to repeat this cycle. Nobody will be remembered for their passion project. They have failed, and there is an announcement of it. We got readiness, preparations, arrangements. So there could be some kind of preparations or arrangements being announced. This passion project has failed. They're going to be wiped from the memory. They'll be wiped from the memory. Collective consciousness will not remember this snake and their destiny swapping rituals. It will be eliminated from the field of consciousness. If I don't know if the actual people who do this are going to be eliminated, or if the memory of being able to do this will be eliminated. Take it as it resonates. They're paranoid. These third-party enemies, they're paranoid about this snake's purpose. They were not able to cause damage to the Emperor's soul tie. They're feeling broken and shattered about this. They're no longer friends. They can't snack on their friends, or maybe they are the new snack because they can't lure in any of their friends. It looks to me like their destiny is to be the snack. The Most High stated that they are the new fodder. You know, they've been feeding on the human being, their energy, their flesh, their fluids. And, you know, and the most terrible thing is that it was the children, you know, because they were unable to defend themselves at all, and they were easily twisted So incredibly vile. And the thing that's so vile about it is they are wearing a man suit made in the image of God. They have violated the reputation of God by wearing that man suit and using every part of it, including the voice, as a weapon of war against the mother and child and other fathers or potential fathers. They tried their best to defile the reputation of God. And they wanted to be known as God. They were bribed. They were tempted. Now they're triggered because they're receiving a denial. They cannot access your mental body anymore and steal your intellectual creator properties to earn money. You're not opening your heart to birthing anything else with them. You're releasing them. You're letting them go. You're letting them go. That's a promise. That's a promise. That's a promise. There's a strategy here. So you could have developed this strategy during this mind reading bullshit artistry that these snakes and triggered little third parties were up to. While they were mind effing you, you developed strategies to keep your inner peace. You've gained a lot of information about how to manage yourself under extreme duress for prolonged periods of time. It wasn't just a quick, cover up the symptoms and feel okay for a little while. It was like you had to make a life shift, how you managed your temple. You got a whole bunch of people who are collaborating to fight with you, to create conflict in your life. And God has shown you mercy and kindness and lifted you up out of that. And these people are being rejected and they're stubborn. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. It's like they're going through withdrawals because they're addicted to your energy. They're addicted to being you, to pretending. And justice is being served once again for the blessing, which is you, for the gift, which is you. And you're dedicating, look, you got alliances here. You got alliances here. They see you as trustworthy, honest, and true, and so are they. So, yeah. You survived the natural disasters that they brought to you. You're sleeping sweetly. You persevered through that. So that's nice. It may have been a long, long time that you reached your goals. And because you've reached your goals, these ones who moved against you, these snakes and such, third-party enemies, are in a nightmare. And they very well may be in a nightmare. I've heard them talking about having nightmares. Like, many of you have had. You have insomnia. I have a friend, like, she gets night terrors. She'll wake up in the middle of the night and be screaming and crying, like, out of control. And her husband will have a hard time calming her down because she gets these there's somebody's doing something to her in this astral space that is absolutely unacceptable. If people knew that their dreams weren't really dreams, they would understand a little bit more, but they've been trained, right? Well, I think that's probably good for now. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I hope that it brings clarity to something you may have already intuitively knew. And I will see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.